do.
To me,
I mean, this is quite serious because it goes against, or sometimes it can actually go against everything you believe in, which is the truth, accountability, people taking responsibility for actions, and then you're also looking at keeping the peace. You're also looking at being loyal to your dad. You're also looking at how good he is. So I feel like there's just so much to consider, and then it puts you in a pickle.
Something that you really want to establish in a situation like this, I first want to find out or ask, how did you find out that your dad was cheating on your mom? Did you catch him somewhere with another lady? Was it via text messages? Did somebody tell you? Did you just suspect because of some shady moves or certain things that he probably did? Because
you
for
have
such
real proof.
you need to have a real proof, because this is something very serious. For you to come up with such an allegation, all right? For you to, because it could affect your family so terribly. It could make or mar your family. It would never, trust me, it's going to injure the family so badly, it'll be hard to heal. So you really want to be sure that whatever you're suspecting your father of doing, whatever proof, you're sure that he's actually cheating.
And what if you also want to consider the fact that they might be doing this because, in a way, it is for them. So I think that before you want to sit to have a conversation with your dad, you want to understand if he's someone you have that kind of conversation with, because I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. You can't sit with the person you've never sat with in many years and you expect that he opens up to you, because what if indeed there's a problem? It wouldn't open up to you if it's something strange to him, like, to me, what's that?
Oh, is it why are you coming to tell me?
We need to talk. Like, everything you ever said to your dad is, oh, dad, my school fees, dad, money, this and that. So it might be weird that you want to sit your dad down to have a conversation with him.
Yes.
And he might also see you or feel like you're not mature enough to understand whatever he wants to say about whatever his reason is. Another thing you also want to consider is that I hope that it wouldn't ruin your own psyche and your idea of what a marriage should look like. And while I'm not trying to say that, oh, you pretend or you ignore like it doesn't exist or it is not happening or it did not happen, you also want to consider what this conversation might do to you, because I think that when people put themselves in the middle of issues, what we never ever think about is how these things can backfire or
later. What are their character traits? How does your mom react to situations like that?
This.
Generally, when she's offended, when she's hurt, when she gets bad news, how does she react? How's your dad? How does he react? Is he violent? Because sometimes people could act in certain ways that could actually hurt other people when confronted. So yes, the way he reacts to things like this, your relationship with him, the way he handles his emotions also need to come to play here. All of that's why I said think first. You got to think first before you act. And if there's going to be, it's not something you rush to do for a while.
Before
you know,
just
like I wouldn't say wait it out. Like to me, maybe that's what to me is trying to say. Calm down and really wait for a while. Because if you wait it out, it's still going to bother you. It's going to cause you to harbor resentment. It's going to cause a lot of anger. You're going to begin to, dislike certain things about him. It's going to tell in your attitude, the way you relate with him.
The worst part is one day you're having a family conversation, it probably becomes an argument, and then before you know it, you just blurt it out and say, Shebi, this one, daddy.
Yes.
And then before you know it, everyone hears it, and now, like Farida said, when it is said, it can't be unsaid.
It cannot be. And it causes disrespect as well.
Eventually.
If you feel like your dad has done something really, bad, something that you never expected him to do, something you feel, makes him really look bad in your eyes, you start to disrespect him. You start to look at him some type of way. So you that I placed in such a I put you on such a pedestal, you could go and act like this.
And
so
there's
disrespect. And when there's disrespect, it breeds all of these things we're talking about right now. So that's why you need to really weigh the situation. All right, when you weigh the situation with your proof, less proof in this case.
Proof in hand.
That's why I mentioned that. There's got to be proof that
I think that if indeed they have addressed it over the time, over the years, and nothing has changed, then it might be time for you to sit them down and say, Daddy, Mommy, you guys are so good to each other and you've been so good to us. But I think that what will bring both of you peace now is that you go your separate ways. So for me, I feel like this that I'm saying takes a very high level of emotional maturity.
Yeah.
Because in my case, I don't think that you will need to sit there now and say, tell them that, I caught you. No. It would be that you took your time to analyze and you realize that really they actually have been hiding the fact that something is wrong.
It's not working. The marriage isn't working.
They've talked about over time.
Yeah.
So for instance, if you know that it's been one form of abuse or the other, not even physical, maybe emotional, maybe mom constantly cries, since you were a child, you knew the whole time that your parents
Yeah.
were not very happy, but they've been holding it down because of the kids. And now your kids are grown. You're already having your own family. So why should they stay together if
And
they are staying together
suffer.
continues to hurt them? Because
Yeah.
one thing we want to be very, very sincere about is to understand if indeed there's joy here. Or were the ones who want it to be like that because of the idea and the notion that marriage is daddy, mommy, and the kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be if indeed there is no joy.
Absolutely.
I'm not advocating for you breaking up your parents.
Yes.
But I am saying that instead of it to be considering telling mommy, telling daddy, if you know that they've not been happy for the longest and you are sure that you know.
And that should be the last resort.
Yes,
Like,
it might just be time for you to say, mommy, daddy, you
It's
guys
not
have
working
tried.
anymore.
I don't think there's joy here for any one of you. Pack your bags and leave.
And there's a way that affects the kids as well. If your parents
I
are always
know.
arguing and fighting, if there's never
Exactly.
peace, they're always at each other's
and before you know it,
throats.
they've called
You
you.
are- yeah.
Hello?
Your mama,
your
daddy,
mommy,
auntie.
your daddy has started.
This thing you just said, yeah, it just reminded me of someone. It happened recently. I was with a
Okay.
person, and they, not like I know the person, but we're together in the same environment.
Okay.
And guess what? He got a call from home saying it was his father complaining about his mother's
And this person
behavior.
is old
Yes, and the
now.
guy was like, yeah, he already is a married person with his own family. So his father called and said, your mother's at it again. She did
Imagine,
this.
oh.
She's like, oh my gosh. And he was like, okay, I'm coming home. How long would I keep coming back home every
To help
time?
you resolve
I'm
issues.
tired. Can't you guys just be adults? Can't you find a way to live together as a husband and wife?
Uh-huh.
All your children are married and away from home. Why can't you guys live
What are
together?
you
So
supposed to be
yeah, so it
fighting
really
about?
does happen. But
Yeah.
really though, honestly, if push comes to shove, it wouldn't be a bad idea
tell
because at
them
the
to
end
go
of
their
the day,
separate ways.
it's better to be apart and happy than to be together and to be together
Exactly.
and
And be
miserable.
having fights
Yes, and then
constantly.
and if one person is violent, that could also be a problem. It could cause another
And
damage.
if one person is unhappy, it could also make them depressed.
Trust
and
me.
it could make them lose
Well,
themselves.
anger. One day you guys are arguing about something, and boom, somebody throws a punch, and the other person is down on the floor.
Oh, that
So
people.
marriages
God,
should
they're
be
big.
enjoyed, like they said. Gonna those days when we sit and fold our arms and say, you
And
know
then
what,
we-
sit
we
in the
hope to
marriage.
God, yeah.
Let's see
You
what God
don't
will
have to sit
happen.
in the
Pray
marriage.
about it. Yeah, yada yada yada. Everybody
I
is an
feel
adult.
like,
You know
you
what?